I'm excited to break this down. Let's start with the favorites. Donnie mentioned to me that in his book, it's a 9.5 win total for the Colts and 8 for every other team. I have the 9 for the Colts, or 9.5 for the Colts and 8.5 for each and every other team. So we'll start breaking this down. Season win totals 9.5, juice to the over for the Colts. To win the division, plus 120. To win the conference, plus 800. Super Bowl, plus 1,600. Andrew Luck MVP, plus 800. Andrew Luck most passing yards, plus 400. T.Y. Hilton most receiving yards, plus 1,200. Darius Leonard, defensive player of the year, plus 3,300. Last year they were 5th in the AFC in offense, 7th in defense. But plenty of weapons for Andrew Luck and a lot of cash not spent yet for this team. They bring in Paris Campbell, a great pick, an enormous weapon out of Ohio State. He will take the pressure off of T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, a beast at tight end. They bring in Devin Funchess, Marlon Mack at running back. And then they have this strong D led by Darius Leonard, Malik Hooker, and now Justin Houston joins. How good will these Indianapolis Colts be, Donnie Rightside?
I mean, what's not to like, actually, about the Colts? I mean, you try to get the Colts a year ahead of schedule. Last year, they were very good, but they're still building. You're right, Jimmy. You bring up a good point there, saying how much money they still have under the cap. This was one of the teams that you thought might have took a shot and said, you know what? We have so much money. Why don't we just go out and get Le'Veon Bell at this point and really take it to the next level? They technically don't need him because when you look at the offensive line, it's nasty. It's built. The one thing that you need as a competitive advantage in the NFL is keeping your quarterback healthy. What a job Frank Wright did, and what a scheme that he had. What was there, maybe 5 or 6 games last year we didn't get sacked at all? That is amazing. If your quarterback stays upright and is accurate, you're going to be able to move the football. Let's also not forget last year, Jimmy, for the most part of the year, T.Y. Hilton was banged up with a high ankle sprain. If he comes in healthy now you have more possession receivers. You have a defense that's really underrated in the grand scheme of things. But when you take a look at this division, I think you have a clear coaching advantage with the Indianapolis Colts over the rest of the division. I think you have a clear, forget about just like as the whole team operates. Look at the offense and the scheme that they put in versus the rest of this league. One team is built with the Colts on saying, let me protect my quarterback, when there's another team with Houston that says, let just run around, make plays, hold on to the ball, and take 16 hits a game. It's clear to me that the Indianapolis Colts are the best team in this division. And you know what's funny to look at? They're 14-1 to win the Super Bowl, Jimmy. So are the Cleveland Browns. Give me the Colts over the Browns any day at 14-1.
Yeah, I agree. And to win the division at plus 120 still has a ton of value. They're plus 1,600 to win the Super Bowl at the book that I use. Whale Capper, how good are these Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, that plus 120 to win the division, that is a jam. I mean, that is like the idea that it's less than 50%, by implied break-even probability is wild to me. They clearly have the best coach. They clearly have the best quarterback. We live in a universe in the NFL where the regular season is determined like 80 to 90% of your success is based on those two factors, and you clearly are better than every other team in your division. And oh, by the way, your nearest competitor in the Houston Texans have a much more difficult schedule than you do. Like this is shocking. It's surprising. You brought up the comparison to the Browns in terms of Super Bowl price. That is wild. Browns haven't made the playoffs in years and years and years. The Colts won a playoff game on the road last year. Like, this is a team that came into last season with very low expectations. We did not know about the health of Andrew Luck. He had not played an entire season of football. They were like, man, maybe they win 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know. They have a terrible roster. We don't know anything about this coach. We don't know about the health of the quarterback. Well, it turns out all of the question marks on that team came back with glowing A pluses. They had an offensive line rookie who was like legitimately in contention for Rookie of the Year last year. That's unheard of. Like, this team is deep. They are young. They have room to grow and improve in lots of places across the roster. They made great picks in the draft. I honestly can't say anything negative about the way that this team is positioned to take on the AFC as a whole this year. I see value across the board in almost every one of those numbers you mentioned. I have them floor probably 10 wins, reasonably 9 wins, but I think this is a 10-win team in about 80% of the ways you break down that different things could happen on the course of the season. They even have a backup quarterback I respect. If Andrew Luck gets banged up at some point in the season, not that we would expect that to happen because he may have a clean jersey on more than half of the games because this offensive line is so damn talented. You still have a backup quarterback that I think can come in and give you a serviceable couple starts if needed. So, there's really this is kind of the low risk, low hanging fruit as you look across the the division futures landscape as far as I see it. And I think that there is reasonable expectation that this team can make the AFC title game this year. And so if you want to grab a little bit to win the AFC and have that in your pocket and hope that that game happens in Indianapolis, then I'm not stopping you.
I like it. I like it. First and foremost, a lot of value on the over-win total, a lot of value on the division, and possibly a lot of value on the conference. And Whale Capper is one of those guys who had them last year way ahead of the curve with a huge ticket.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.